This presentation will be based on the question, should the vaccination for HPV be mandated for teenage girls? And I will be arguing on the no side. Firstly, what is HPV? HPV is a human papillomavirus. It is the most common sexually transmitted infection in the United States. There are 79 million Americans that are infected with HPV, and most are in their late teens and early 20s. There are many different types of HPV, and in most cases, it goes away on its own and does not cause any health problems. So one of the very important questions that we must ask ourselves is whether or not the vaccine is important. And the answer to that is, of course. Some types of HPV can cause health problems, including genital warts and cancers. Vaccines can stop these health problems from happening. The HPV vaccine is safe and effective. It can protect against diseases. But should it be required for all teenage girls to get it? So before answering that question, I would like to give some background information. Each year, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices and the American Academy of Pediatrics publish the recommended routine pediatric immunization schedule. The recommendations for immunization are developed based on the risk and benefit for an individual child and the public health benefit in general. These vaccines are recommended but not mandated by the CDC. Many state legislators are conflicted with the decision to mandate HPV vaccination of adolescent females. Here's why some say it should be required. They say it will decrease the spread of the virus, it will benefit their health, and that many teenagers are engaging in sexual activity and are not using protective guidelines. From an ethical view, I will be discussing the social contract theory. It states giving up personal desires to benefit the community instead of the individual. Thomas Hobbes believed that being moral required a set of rules that must be put in place for a community to follow. And following these rules will set up a society in which people can communicate well together and they can live in harmony. The reason why the social contract theory would find it ethical for all teenage girls to be required to get the vaccine is because it will be benefiting the community. It will be benefiting everybody instead of the individual. However, the vaccine should not be mandated. First of all, not all teenage girls are thinking about being sexually active, and requiring a vaccine that has to do with STD is going to create some curiosity in them. Providing a vaccine against an STD will increase sexual activity among adolescents because of this curiosity. It goes against individual rights. As humans, they should have a say in what to do with their own bodies. So requiring them to get a vaccine is basically forcing them to go against their own will. Some of them might not even want to get the vaccine, but they wouldn't have a say in it, and that goes against their individual right. It can also go against religious belief. Many people don't believe in having sex before marriage or having sex at such an early age. Many parents believe premarital sex is immoral and adolescents should abstain from engaging in it. So a lot of them are not having sex for this reason, and requiring them to get an STD vaccine, it might be disrespectful to them. So is it ethical to require all teenage girls to get the HPV vaccine? I will be using Act Utilitarianism by Stuart Mill to say why it is not ethical. He says that an action becomes morally right when it produces the greatest good for the majority of people. Will this bring the greatest good for those individuals? Going against your own will is not bringing the greatest good for yourself. So Stuart Mill will not find it ethical to force anybody to go against their own will. This is also proven by Immanuel Kant's theory. He says, treat people always as an end and never as a means only. Are the rights of those teenage girls being respected? Immanuel Kant believed that individuals should be taken care of, they should be respected, their rights should be respected, and that they should be happy. And this is not respecting their own rights. This is not respecting their means and what they want to do for themselves. And lastly, the principle of utility, which says that an action is right if it promotes happiness and wrong if it promotes the opposite. So will they be happy with the outcome? Those individuals are not going to be happy when they are forced to get something that they might not want in their body. And like it was said before, not all of them are engaging in sexual activity, and they will find no reasoning of why they're being forced to go against their will. Yes, the vaccine is very important, and at one point they should get it, but requiring them to do so, making it a law, is just not ethical because it goes against their individual right.